In Index.php, under your head, please set up your body tags. Next, go to layout.html, copy the code, and paste it inside your body tags. Next, please select divs 1 through to 4 and tap Tab to indent them. Put in some spaces surrounding your parent div, and change the name of that div from parent to wrapper. In line 27, you'll want to comment where the wrapper div ends. And we're going to rename divs 1, 2, 3, and 4 so that they're more descriptive, i.e. banner, nav, main, and footer. Please put some quick placeholder text inside each of the divisions that you've created and comment your closed divs. You can then save and preview, and of course it won't look like much. Note that if you're using a system like ProjectSpace, you will need to upload the information before you preview. If you're using something like XAMPP, you'll need to navigate to the folder, and in my case I've got localhost because I am using XAMPP. I've put it in a folder called GK Tutorials, and then I've got another folder in there which has my project. So hopefully you can figure out how to see your website. Our next step is to create a style sheet so that we can add some color and set up our layout correctly. I'm going to copy holiday style, create a new file, and save it with the correct name, remembering that this is a CSS file. In our HTML, we assigned classes to our divs. In CSS, we use dot and then the class name, followed by 2 curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets, we can put in the attribute, a colon, and then the property with a semicolon at the end. We're going to set up our columns first, and in this case we want our first column to be 300 pixels, followed by another column which is 1 fraction, or the rest of the available width. We're also wanting to set up our rows, and in this case we can set it to auto. We'd like a gap, so in this case it's grid column gap, which is going to be 5 pixels, and you might notice that Visual Studio Code actually said this isn't quite right, and if I go over it, it says I should just use column gap without the grid. So I'm going to go ahead and follow its advice, and then I'm going to use row gap as well, which is also going to be. The next step is to actually set up some areas. So to do this, you're wanting to have grid template areas. Give yourself some space. In our first row, we want the banner to go over both columns. In the second row, we want to have our navigation sidebar and the main. And in the third row, we're wanting to have our footer once again going over both columns. Next, we're going to set up each of our areas, and I'm going to have them as really distinct colors. So here's the code to associate the banner with the correct area, and as you can see, I've chosen yellow as the background. And you can go ahead and set up your navigation, main, and footer so that the colors are really distinctive. Then save, and when you reload the page, you should see that you've got your 4 distinct areas, and even though it doesn't look particularly great, we can see the different colors, and we've got our banner, footer, search area, and main area as hoped. As this video is getting a little bit long, we're going to continue this process in the next video.